Have you ever wondered why some people are able to completely change their lives, while others stay stuck in the same harmful patterns year after year? The answer is not willpower. It lies in mental discipline. Samurai were not unstoppable warriors because they were born different. They mastered something many people today have lost: the ability to control their own mind through small daily actions. And this is exactly what the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen teaches. You are not weak. Understand this clearly. The issue is not who you are, but the habits you are trapped in, habits that quietly weaken you and sabotage your progress every single day without you noticing. While you are watching this video, millions of people are repeating the same behaviors that block real change. And you might be one of them. Have you experienced this before? You promise yourself that you will change. You try to fix everything at once, but after a few days you return to exactly the same place you started. Samurai succeeded because they had complete mental discipline, not because they were physically stronger than their opponents. They lived by principles that eliminated bad habits at their source. Stay with me until the end, because you are going to learn 7 samurai rules applied through Kaizen. These rules are not meant to motivate you for a few days. They are designed to fully reprogram the way you think. What you are about to learn may surprise you, because if you apply even one of these rules, you will begin to change today, not tomorrow, today. And the first rule is so powerful that it brings us back to the same question. Why do some people manage to transform their lives completely, while others remain stuck in destructive cycles year after year? The answer is not willpower. It is mental discipline. Samurai were not invincible because they were born different. They were disciplined. They mastered something most of us have lost: the ability to control their own mind through small daily actions. That is exactly what the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen teaches. You are not weak. Understand this clearly. The problem is not who you are, but the habits you are trapped in, habits that quietly weaken you and sabotage you every day without you noticing. While you are watching this video, millions of people are repeating the same mistakes that prevent real transformation. And you may be one of them. Have you experienced this? You promise yourself you will change. You try to fix everything at once, but after a few days you are right back where you started. Samurai prevailed because they had absolute mental discipline, not because they were physically stronger than their enemies. They followed principles that eliminated bad habits at the root. Stay with me until the end, because you are going to learn 7 samurai rules applied through Kaizen. These rules are not designed to motivate you for a few days. They are designed to completely reprogram your mind. What you are about to learn may surprise you, because if you apply even one of these rules, you will begin changing today, not tomorrow, today. And the first rule is so powerful that before we continue, I need to ask you an important question. What is the habit you most want to eliminate in your life? The one that blocks your growth and silently undermines you every day. Go to the comments and write what that habit is. Each time you leave a comment like this, you help spread Japanese philosophy teachings to more people. You are not just responding. You are joining a focused community committed to real transformation. And if you have made it this far without liking the video, take a moment and do it now. This tells YouTube the content has value and helps it reach people who need this message. It takes 1 second, and it supports a real movement of change. Before we move on to the 7 samurai rules, check something with me. Are you subscribed to the channel? If you are not on this path yet, subscribe now. The next videos are part of a complete series designed to forge discipline, strengthen mindset, and prepare you to enter 2026 at a higher level. Your participation helps this channel grow and reach more people with content that truly creates change. You are part of this. Rule 1: Master the beginning. The Kaizen of minimum action. Now let's go directly to the first samurai rule that will change how you see discipline. It is called master the beginning. It sounds simple, but this is where most people fail without realizing it. Why? Because they try to change everything at once. You wake up full of motivation and promise to work out an hour a day, study 3 hours, wake up at 5 in the morning, cut all sugar from your diet, and in less than a week, everything collapses. Have you been through this? Samurai understood something that Kaizen philosophy has taught for centuries. Bad habits do not start big. They start small. Real transformation works the same way. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary Japanese swordsman, did not become unstoppable overnight. He mastered the simplest sword movement before moving to advanced techniques. He understood that true discipline is not about doing a lot. It is about doing something consistently, even when it is minimal. Here is the practical application, because this is where you begin destroying bad habits at the root. If you want to work out, do not start with an hour at the gym. Start with 2 minutes. Yes, 2 minutes. Want to study? Do not try to read an entire book. Read 1 page. Want to wake up earlier? Do not set your alarm for 5 in the morning tomorrow. Set it 10 minutes earlier than today. Does this sound ridiculous? That reaction is exactly what keeps you stuck. Your brain does not resist 2 minutes. It resists an hour. It does not fight 1 page. It fights an entire book. The samurai does not ask if he feels motivated. He starts. That is the difference between people who change their lives and those who remain trapped in the same cycles. Minimum action breaks mental resistance. Once resistance is broken, the habit begins to form. Comment this. I master the beginning. This affirmation is the first step in rewiring your mind. Now let's go deeper, because the next samurai rule explains why most people quit right after they start. But first, I want to tell you something. If you truly want to commit to this transformation, I prepared complimentary material that goes straight to the point. The Path of Japanese Discipline. This material is designed to turn a scattered mind into a disciplined, focused, and stable one, capable of acting daily even when motivation fades, even when fatigue is heavy, even when no one is watching. This method teaches how to eliminate procrastination, regulate emotions, and build quiet consistency, the kind that creates real winners. This is not about short-term excitement. It is about building mental strength that supports lasting results. More than 1 million people have already accessed this material while walking this same path. If this aligns with you, check the link in the description. This content may not stay available forever, so take advantage while you can. Now, let's move to the second rule, where things become even more practical. Rule 2, cut the excess. Fewer decisions, more discipline. This rule is simple, but most people ignore it. Cut the excess. And this is not only about physical clutter. It is about decisions. The more choices you make in a day, the weaker your discipline becomes. This is a fact. Bad habits survive in chaos. They hide in confusion, in endless options, in daily negotiations you have with yourself. Samurai understood what Japanese philosophy has always taught. Discipline is born from simplicity. Before battle, the warrior removed distractions. He carried no unnecessary weight. He did not decide which weapon to use or which path to take in the moment. Those decisions were already made. Miyamoto Musashi wrote about removing what is unnecessary from the mind. He knew that every small decision consumes mental energy. Here is the practical application. Create a fixed routine. Define your schedule. Keep your environment clean. It may sound boring, but discipline is not about excitement. It is about removing the need for motivation. If you wake up and must decide whether to work out, when to do it, what to wear, you have already lost. The samurai does not negotiate with his mind. The decision was made yesterday. The body simply follows. Compare this. The average person wakes up and asks, "Should I work out today?" The disciplined person never asks. At 6 in the morning, they are already training. No negotiation. Want to eliminate a bad habit? Make the opposite behavior automatic. Want to stop procrastinating? Set a fixed time to start work. Want to stop eating junk food? Remove those options from your environment. Comment this. I cut the excess. This mindset frees you from the excuses you repeat every day. Now let's go deeper, because the third samurai rule reveals the difference between people who act and people who only talk. Rule 3. Do not trust willpower. Trust ritual. This rule breaks one of the biggest illusions keeping people stuck for years. Willpower is unstable. It works when you feel motivated and disappears when you are tired. That is why most people cannot maintain change. You have been relying on the wrong tool. Samurai never depended on willpower. They relied on ritual. They lived by daily rituals. The Japanese philosophy of Shuhari teaches this clearly. Discipline comes from habit, not emotion. Miyamoto Musashi woke up at the same hour, trained in the same place, and followed the same process every single day. Rain or shine, motivated or not. He understood that when an action becomes a ritual, it no longer depends on willpower. It becomes automatic. And what is automatic does not fail. Let me give you a practical example. Do you brush your teeth every day? Most likely, yes. But do you need motivation to do it? Do you wake up thinking, "Today, I don't feel like brushing my teeth"? No, because it became a ritual. It became automatic. Your brain no longer questions it. Now imagine applying this to working out, studying, or working on your projects. Imagine turning the actions that change your life into rituals as natural as brushing your teeth. Here is the direct application. Same time, same place, same process. If you want to build the habit of exercising, train every day at 6 o'clock in the morning at the same gym. Want to study? Do it every night at 8 o'clock at the same desk. Want to meditate? Same location, same hour, same duration. Exact repetition is what programs the brain. It's not about doing something new. It's about doing the same thing until it becomes part of who you are. Ritual removes internal debate. You don't decide if you'll do it. You act because that's what you always do at that time. Comment there. I live by rituals because this mindset separates those who truly transform from those who only try. Now let's go deeper, because the fourth samurai rule reveals the biggest mistake silently destroying your consistency. Rule 4. Endure discomfort in silence. Gamen. This is where most people break. And that's exactly why you must understand it. Endure discomfort in silence. There is a Japanese principle called gamen, which means enduring with dignity. This goes against modern thinking, where any discomfort becomes a reason to quit. It's hard, stop. You're tired, rest. You feel anxious, give up. And this is where bad habits are created and strengthened. Here is the truth people avoid. Bad habits are escapes from discomfort. Every time you procrastinate, eat junk food, or scroll on your phone instead of working, you are avoiding something uncomfortable. The samurai knew that escaping discomfort means escaping growth. Miyamoto Musashi trained for years under intense heat, rain, and freezing cold. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He endured, breathed, and continued because he knew transformation exists exactly where you want to quit. Here's how to apply this now. When the urge hits to stop exercising, quit studying, or return to the couch, understand this. It's not a sign to stop. It's a sign you are growing. Your brain resists change because change is uncomfortable. Anxiety is not a problem. It's part of the process. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the teacher. So next time you want to quit, don't run. Stay. Breathe. Endure one more minute, then another. You'll see that discomfort doesn't destroy you. It strengthens you. Discipline is not pleasure. Discipline is resistance. It's the ability to continue when everything inside you tells you to stop. The samurai did not flee from pain. He passed through it with dignity. That is what separates those who conquer from those who quit at the first obstacle. Comment there. I endure discomfort because this affirmation is a commitment to your own growth. Now let's go further, because the fifth samurai rule shows what to do when you fail. And yes, you will fail. Rule 5. Win the day, not life. This rule completely changes how you see progress. Win the day, not life. You quit because you obsess over the entire mountain instead of the next step. You think about the next 6 months or 2 years and become paralyzed. Japanese philosophy calls this the loss of ichigo ichi, total focus on the present moment. Thinking too far ahead creates procrastination. Sounds strange, but it's true. When you think, I need to lose 20 kilos, I must study 1,000 hours, or I need to build a business, your brain panics. The task feels impossible, so you don't start. The samurai understood this. He didn't enter battle thinking about every war ahead. He fought one battle at a time, one strike at a time. Miyamoto Musashi wrote in the Book of 5 Rings that a warrior who thinks about final victory during combat is already defeated, because he is not present. He is not focused on the move he must make now. This is what's holding you back. You want results months from now? but you refuse to win today. So here is the direct application. Stop thinking about total transformation. Focus only on today. Focus on the next correct action. You don't need to work out for 300 days. You need to work out today. You don't need to study for a year. You need to study this next hour. One day builds the unbreakable person. When you win today, tomorrow becomes easier, not because you changed overnight, but because you prove to yourself that you can act. The journey begins one step at a time and only moves forward when you stop staring at the horizon and focus on the ground ahead. Comment there. I win today because that is the only promise that matters. Now let's go deeper, because the sixth samurai rule explains what to do when everything around you feels like it's collapsing. Rule 6. Use shame as a tool. Accountability. This rule is controversial but extremely effective. Using shame does not mean humiliating yourself. It means accountability. The samurai lived by Bushido, a code where honor mattered above all. They stayed disciplined because they were accountable to others. Their community watched them. Here is the truth. When no one is watching, you betray yourself. You promise to wake up early, but when the alarm rings and no one sees, you go back to sleep. You promise to work out, but alone at home, you stay on the couch. There is no consequence, no accountability. Discipline grows through external accountability, not just internal promises. Miyamoto Musashi understood this. He did not fight in secret. He declared his challenges publicly because public commitment creates pressure that private promises never do. Here's how you apply it. Declare your goal openly. Tell your family. Tell your friends. Share it publicly if needed. Create a system where you can be held accountable. Want to quit smoking? Say it out loud and ask others to hold you responsible. Want to work out daily? Track it somewhere others can see. Want to build a project? Share weekly progress. Failing in front of others creates more pressure than failing alone. This is not weakness. It is strategy. The samurai did not rely only on willpower. He built systems that made quitting costly. Comment there. I take public accountability because this is where discipline becomes real. Now let's go deeper, because the seventh and final samurai rule is the most powerful of all. It reveals the principle that connects everything you've learned here. Rule 7. Die to the weak self every day. We have reached the seventh and final samurai rule, and this one goes deeper than all the others. Die to the weak self every day. This may feel uncomfortable to hear, but it must be said. You will not change as long as you continue to identify with the weaker version of yourself. Bad habits are not only harmful actions. They are old identities that you carry as if they were permanent. When you keep saying, "This is just how I am," or "I've always been like this, I can't change," you are keeping alive exactly what needs to be left behind. Japanese philosophy teaches the idea of constant rebirth. The samurai did not wake up seeing himself as the same man from the day before. He consciously abandoned the lazy, undisciplined, and weak version that lived inside him. Miyamoto Musashi expressed this clearly when he wrote, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." He understood that attachment to an old identity is the greatest barrier to transformation. You must, every day, let go of the version of yourself that quits, procrastinates, and chooses comfort over growth. Here is the most powerful practical application of this rule. Every time you face a decision, any decision, ask yourself one simple question. What would my disciplined self do right now? Not what feels easier. Not what feels pleasant. What would the strong, focused, and disciplined version of you choose in this moment? Then act on that answer without negotiating. Discipline is identity expressed through action. It is not about temporary motivation. It is about becoming a different person at the deepest level. Every time you choose the harder action instead of the easier one, you weaken the old self and strengthen the disciplined one. Every workout you complete when you don't feel like training, every study session you finish when rest feels more appealing, every correct choice made against immediate comfort is not just a change in behavior. It is a reconstruction of who you are. The samurai knew that the most important battle is not against an external enemy, but against the weak inner self that wants to surrender every day. Comment there. I'm reborn every day. because this affirmation is your final commitment to real transformation. Now, before we close, there is something essential you must understand about everything discussed here. The final truth. Now that you know the 7 samurai rules, there is one truth that will decide whether this changes your life or becomes just another piece of motivation you forget in a few days. You do not need to change your entire life. You need to change the person who executes your decisions. That is the real difference between lasting transformation and temporary illusion. Most people chase new results without changing identity. They want the body of a disciplined person but keep the thoughts and actions of someone undisciplined. They want the success of people who act, yet maintain the mindset of those who delay. This is why they stay trapped in the endless cycle of starting and quitting. The samurai Kaizen you learned here does not transform you overnight, but it makes you impossible to stop. Each small daily action reshapes who you are at the deepest level. Miyamoto Musashi fought more than 60 duels and never lost. He was not born unbeatable. He became unbeatable through constant repetition of the same principles and the same correct choices, executed again and again until they defined him. Japanese philosophy teaches that soft water, striking hard stone over time, eventually breaks through. It is not force that wins. It is consistency. Remember this clearly. Discipline